All right, let's get right into it. If you're trying to hire someone right now, you already know it's a battlefield out there. But what if I told you the biggest problem isn't the market? What if it's your own strategy? Today, we're going to tear into why the old hiring playbook is completely broken and show you where the real fight for talent is actually being won and lost.
This quote from our source material just cuts right to the chase, doesn't it? It calls it a war. And let's be real, if you've posted a job recently and all you heard back was crickets, war probably feels less like a metaphor and more like a documentary. That one word really sets the stage for the massive, system-wide problem we're about to unpack.
So, just how big is this battlefield we're talking about? The source material lays out the scale of the crisis, and honestly, the numbers are pretty staggering.
Okay, just let that number sink in for a second. Right now, across Canada, there are over 800,000 unfilled jobs. That's not a small gap. That is a chasm. It means hundreds of thousands of teams are running short-staffed, projects are getting pushed back, and you can bet our whole economy is feeling that strain.
And if we zoom in a little bit, the picture gets even clearer and maybe a little more worrying. Of those 800,000 empty spots, more than a quarter of them, 220,000, are in the skilled trades. You know, the electricians, the millwrights, the people who actually build and maintain, well, everything. This isn't some niche issue. It's a foundational crisis.
And it's not just about how many jobs are empty, it's about how long they stay that way. And you can see the problem is getting worse, not better. A few years ago, it took about a month to fill a trades job. Now, we're looking at over 2 months. For every single one of those jobs, that's 2 months of lost productivity, wasted cash, and a team that's getting more burnt out by the day.
And listen, this isn't just a Canadian problem, not by a long shot. The source makes it crystal clear that this is a global war for talent. The US needs over 500,000 new skilled tradespeople. The UK is short more than 200,000. Australia is literally overhauling its immigration system just to keep up. Everyone, everywhere, is feeling this.
So here's the big question. If everyone is fighting the same war, why are so many companies losing? Well, the source material argues it's because they're using an expired playbook. They're bringing old, outdated tactics to a completely new battlefield.
And this slide right here, this is the core disconnect. The old playbook, it runs on these assumptions that just don't work anymore. Hey, post the job and they'll come running. Just throw an extra $2 an hour at it. Only hire the perfect person with 10 years of experience. But today's workforce is playing a totally different game. They're not just looking for a paycheck. They want to see a future, a mapped-out growth plan. They want supportive bosses, not just managers. And they want to do work that actually feels like it matters. Yeah, wages are important, but the source is clear. Culture is the new currency.
But it gets even worse. The source suggests the real problem isn't just that the market's tough. It's that a lot of these are self-inflicted wounds. To show you what I mean, let's walk through a quick story from the source, and I guarantee something like this is happening in a company near you, maybe even right now.
So it all starts with panic. A superintendent is short-staffed, he's feeling the pressure, and he tells HR, just post it now. There's no time for a real conversation, no clarity on what the salary range even is, just a mad dash to get something online based on a dusty old job description.
So, HR does its thing, works its magic, and sends over 40 resumes. But the hiring manager's reaction? Immediate frustration. Nope, none of these are right. And you have to ask, why? Well, it's because what he really needed was never actually discussed.
And here's the part that'll make you pull your hair out. The manager was secretly willing to pay a premium for someone who could relocate. That was a game-changing detail that never, ever made it into the job post. A fantastic applicant, someone with great skills who is open to moving, applied early on but got tossed aside because they weren't the perfect unicorn. By the time the manager realized the mistake, guess what? That candidate was long gone, already accepted another offer.
So what's the actual cost of that one simple, totally avoidable mistake? The source did the math. Between all the wasted time for HR, the manager's time, plus the lost productivity on site, this one fumble cost the company over $26,000. And get this, that's just in the first 2 weeks.
And this right here, this brings us to the single most important idea in the entire source material. That costly, frustrating, infuriating cycle, that's not a talent shortage. That is a workflow problem. It's a fundamental breakdown in the hiring process itself.
Okay, so if the problem is workflow, how do we start fighting smarter? The source says it all begins with locking down one foundational, tactical win. Now, let's be really clear about what we mean by workflow. This is not about adding more red tape or bureaucracy. In this context, workflow is your strategic system. It's the structured process that turns a manager's panicked, "I need someone now," into an aligned, efficient hunt for the right person. It's the foundation that prevents those costly mistakes we just talked about.
So what does a winning workflow actually look like? Well, the source breaks it down into 4 pretty simple steps. First, document the basics. Budget, codes, title, location. Second, discover. This means holding a real intake meeting to define what success actually looks like for this role. Third, and this one is so crucial, align. Agree on the plan, agree on the pay range before that job ever sees the light of day. And only then, once you have that clarity, can you move to step 4, execute, and recruit with the confidence and authority you need to actually close the best candidates.
And look, for anyone out there thinking this all sounds a little slow, here's the counterintuitive truth. A clear process like this doesn't slow hiring down, it accelerates it. Why? Because you're cutting out all the back and forth, all the guesswork. It gives your recruiters the power to act fast and your managers the clarity they need, getting the right person in the door so much faster. So let's just quickly recap the key takeaways here. First, this talent crisis, it's systemic. It's not going away. This is the new normal. Second, culture and strategy matter way more than just wages. You can't just throw money at this problem and hope it goes away. And third, having solid workflows is what separates the companies that win from the ones that are always just reacting. At the end of the day, winning this war starts with just getting the basics right.
Which leaves us with one last really fascinating question. If the old playbook of just offering more money is officially expired, what does the new one look like? The source is adamant that the answer is found somewhere beyond the paycheck. So what is it? What do today's workers really want?